Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how I installed a front spoiler from National Parts Depot on my 67 Mustang. The spoiler actually came with my car when I bought it about 5 years ago, so I misplaced the installation kit. This is pretty much an ABS plastic spoiler that comes from National Parts Depot. It doesn't come pre-drilled, so I pretty much had to mark all the holes and drill them. I know there's some negative reviews about these spoilers, but I think it just depends on who's installing it and if you're using the right tools, and also being patient. So the first thing that I did was go to Napa Auto Parts and buy some 1/4" 20 bolts, and then I went to Ace Hardware and bought some lock-in flange nuts. I also bought some clamps from Harbor Freight to mock up the front spoiler, and used a pencil and some masking tape to draw a center line between the two mounting holes for the license plate. I also removed the bolts that hold the front valence from the underside. The next step was to mock up the front spoiler using the clamps. So I pretty much clamped the front spoiler from the tabs and centered it. From there, I was able to measure and verify and draw a center line on the front spoiler. All right, so I'm showing you all what I actually did. I took the clamps and I mounted the spoiler, put a clamp right there, put another one right here in the center, and then one on the driver's side. And from here, I centered these tabs right here. I'm sure you can see that. And then afterwards, I drew my center line, which is a little off right now, but I'm gonna center it. Just wanted to show everybody how I'm centering the actual spoiler. So this is how I'm marking the center of the spoiler and where it should be mounted. From here, I'm gonna mark where my center hole or the center bolt is gonna be drilled, and then I'll space out the rest of the bolts evenly. I'll show you all some pictures. This shot shows where I marked the location for my center bolt, and then from there I marked the other locations 5 inches apart. This is my center bolt already pre-drilled. Okay, here I'm just showing you that I pre-drilled my holes, and I have all my bolts inserted just to show how close to the edge they should be right here. You want to make sure that they're as close to this edge as possible versus this other edge, because then your angle of your spoiler is not going to be correct. I'm also going to be trimming these edges, but this will be after I start installing it. And then I'll also add another bolt here and here, but I'm going to be trimming this edge right here to clear the lip that the front valence has. So that will dictate where these two bolts go. Okay, so I went ahead and put my spoiler back on with the clamps, and then I made sure that it was centered right here. And then this is my center bolt. I made sure to, I drilled that one. Well, I first marked it with a Sharpie, and then drilled it, put that bolt in, tighten it, and then I went ahead and marked this hole and this hole and drilled it, and then tightened both of those. But at the same time, I'm also making sure that the edge right here of the spoiler is aligned with the lip of the front valence right here. So I'm going 2 bolts at a time, making sure that the edge of the spoiler is aligned up with this lip. And that's how I'll continue the process. In this shot, I'm actually showing that I had to skip one of the bolts to make sure that the spoiler edge was following the lip of the front valence. And then I also marked where I was going to trim the tab on the front spoiler. This shot shows how the lip on the front valence touches the spoiler. All right, right here I just want to show that I actually drilled this hole, the far outside hole, before I drilled this hole, because when I was trying to put this one in or align this just by flexing the spoiler, this side was not lining up, so I actually went ahead and drilled this one first and put that bolt in before I drilled this one. And then I pushed this tab up and I trimmed the tab just using an X-Acto knife, and then I kind of estimated where the hole was going to be for this bolt and went ahead and drilled it. And then I moved along and I drilled this one, and let me show you, there's a little bit of a gap right there, but I'm actually going to be trimming this edge, and I'll show you from the front the before and after trimming results. So you can see that gap right there, but I'm going to be trimming so it can clear that lip on the valence. This shot just shows where I marked my next bolt from the previous bolt to make sure I close the gap that I had before. Okay, so I'm actually, I called an audible. I talked about having to trim the spoiler, but what I actually did is I folded the lip from the front valence just flat. I'll show you guys from underneath. Sorry about the light, but I'm not sure how well you could see. And I should have used my heat gun, that way my paint wouldn't have cracked, but I'm not too worried about the paint too much. But on the other edge, I'll make sure to use the heat gun. But I went ahead and just folded the lip flat, and that helped close the gap. But then there was still a little bit of a gap. You could still see through it, or between the gap. So what I actually did is I took my heat gun and I warmed up this area, and then with a piece of wood I actually just pushed it up, and then I went ahead and drilled my hole right here, which is only a couple of inches from this last bolt. And then my other bolt I have right here. So just wanted to show everybody that. This shot just shows that I had no cracking on my paint when I folded the lip. This is just showing how I completed my installation. Here's the final installation of my spoiler. I think everything came out pretty good. There is no gaps all the way across. That's my center line right there. There's a little bit of a gap right there, but I can probably just take the heat gun and push that up and that'll close it. It's not too bad. I'm gonna clean things up and then I'll take it outside and take some pictures and show you all how it looks like from a wider angle. Here are some wider angle shots of my Mustang. I think the spoiler installation went well. It's helping me complete the Trans Am /resto mod /daily driver look that I'm going for. I know my videos are a little rough, but hopefully the content helps everybody. And if you have any suggestions or comments, please leave them below. Thanks a lot for watching.